Episode 6 The Tiger Skin Takrut. After that night in the cave, the atmosphere between Plurng and Anjali had noticeably changed. The wall of ice that had stood between them had finally thawed. Although Plurng remained a man of few words, he no longer walked so far ahead. He would often turn to answer Anjali's questions or even point out the tracks of wild animals he spotted. It was a small change, but one that brought immense warmth to Anjali's heart. Their journey continued for several more days until they arrived at the foot of a towering mountain shrouded in mist. "My next destination is on that summit," Plurng said, breaking the silence. "A forgotten, ruined shrine. The second artifact is hidden there, the tiger skin Takrut." The ascent was arduous. The two had to help each other, providing support on slippery and steep paths until they finally reached the summit on the afternoon of the next day. The sight before them was the ruins of a grand shrine built from massive blocks of laterite, overgrown with vines and moss, yet still retaining a solemn sanctity and power. They found the entrance to the inner sanctum sealed by a gargantuan stone slab. There were no visible mechanisms to open it, only an ancient inscription carved into the stone. "When the black tiger meets the eye of the sun, the gate of power shall open." Plurng tried to interpret the words based on his learning, thinking it referred to an auspicious day or time. But no matter how much brute force he applied or what incantations he chanted, the stone slab refused to budge. "Black tiger, eye of the sun," Anjali repeated the words softly, walking around and surveying the area. "Perhaps it's not a time, Plurng, but a place." She pointed to a large statue of a tiger standing majestically on the west side of the ceremonial courtyard. Its shadow was now stretching long in the afternoon sun. On the opposite side, to the east, stood a stone pillar with a clear crystal lens embedded at its peak, the eye of the sun. "We have to make the shadow of the black tiger fall upon the eye of the sun," Anjali exclaimed excitedly. Plurng followed her gaze and understood instantly. The problem was that the statue was far too heavy to move. However, he noticed its base rested on a rotating pedestal seized by time. Once again, they joined forces. Plurng used all his strength to slowly push the stone pedestal, while Anjali guided him, calling out the direction and angle of the slowly moving shadow. Sweat poured from their bodies, but neither gave up. And in the very second, the shadow of the tiger's head fell perfectly upon the crystal lens. Rumble. A deep, grinding sound echoed across the mountaintop. The massive stone slab sealing the entrance began to slowly slide open, revealing a dark passage within. Plurng and Anjali looked at each other and broke into simultaneous smiles, smiles of success and mutual pride. Inside the small chamber, on a stone altar, lay a single ancient tiger skin Takrut. It was a scroll of striped tiger hide inscribed with mystical characters in a blood-red ink that looked unnervingly fresh. Plurng reached out and picked it up. Instantly, he felt a surge of courage and commanding power flow through him. The small fears that lingered in his heart vanished completely. He now held the second artifact in his hand. More importantly, he had a trustworthy partner standing by his side. His journey was no longer a solitary one, and the bond being forged between him and Anjali was becoming their greatest strength for the perilous adventure that lay ahead.